no way we could do anything terribly stupid like drink until 3 o'clock in the morning.
I blame Michael Collins and the Irish in general.
You're blaming Irish history for this?
Oh. This one time.
So, this one time.
This one time?
You know what? This one time.
This one time.
Oh my God, this one time?
The podcast.
Hey, Sheila and Evo, this is Dave Slusher. As you have been noting in your postcards to me, I am a reluctant world traveler now. Before 12 months ago, I had only ever left the country into Vancouver, British Columbia, and Tijuana, both places I could have walked home from in an emergency if I really, really needed to. And in the last 12 months, I've been to England, I've been to Barcelona, I've been to multiple places in India. So my question to you is, when you're traveling, as you guys do, and you do your side trips, not so much your expatriatism, but what do you do to make sure you have all the stuff? Like, what techniques do you do to keep from losing crap? This is speaking as a guy who left adapters and gizwikis, a trail of them between India and here. I'm sure I lost some in Heathrow. I lost them in Pune and Delhi and Hyderabad. It was ridiculous, my last trip. I replaced a couple $100 worth of electronics. So being the dweeby technocrat cast that I am, there's no end of things you can buy and no end of the best travel backpacks, Kickstarters, if you go looking for them. But I'm really looking less for a thing and more for a process. Do you do a thing? Do you have a manifest or a checklist? How do you keep track of your stuff when you're traveling? Thank you very much. Love you guys. Bye.
Dave, that's an excellent question. Thanks for asking. I'm Sheila D.
And I am Evo Terra. We are Shivo, and you are listening to This One Time, the podcast. Dave, my friend, what the hell are you talking about? I lose shit all the time.
Hey, wait, do I?
I'm talking about me right now.
Wait, do I?
Listen, I have lost how many
power cords?
Power cords. You know, the Mac adapter that plugged into the wall. Have I lost?
Many?
I know I had to buy one
in Australia. I had to buy one somewhere in Europe we were at that I had lost one. Yes.
As well. I don't remember exactly where it was.
Mine went bad. I didn't lose it, but in England. I had to buy one in Manchester.
Yeah, right. But that was just being lost. I mean, I've lost those two things.
You lose things all the time.
I remember once I lost my shoes.
What?
I don't recall where we were traveling to, but it was somewhere, and I managed to lose my shoes, my Chacos shoes that I live and die in.
Really?
Somewhere we were traveling. I don't even recall where it was, and I managed to leave my shoes in the hotel.
And you obviously got them back?
No, had to order new shoes.
Really?
Mom sent me some new shoes recently back from the States. So yeah, I lost Chacos. I don't remember where we were. I don't remember if it was this trip, another trip, but I remember distinctly that we were in a hotel somewhere, and the next place we were at, I didn't have my shoes.
Okay, that's so weird because you wear those shoes.
I know.
Everywhere. I have to tell you not to wear those shoes.
I wanted to wear those shoes when I was in Finland in January of this year. I love my Chaco sandals. That's the only thing I want to wear. And I lost them traveling. So I, Dave, am the wrong person to give you advice on how not to lose stuff because I lose stuff nonstop.
And I'm probably a bad one to ask because I know where everything is almost all the time. Would you say that's true?
Well, yes, that's because of your weird vaginal powers that keeps track of things like that.
I can tell you where your stuff is most of the time, and I can probably tell you where NJ's stuff is most of the time, even though I don't live with him anymore.
Yeah, not even in the same country as he is any longer.
But yeah, for me, it's all about putting things in a specific spot,
knowing what I need. Even when we came back from Alabama, you and I were wickedly drunk. I still had to pack. And I had no idea getting on the plane the next morning if I had packed everything.
Yeah, that's true. We were really, we hadn't intended to go drinking the last night. In fact, we knew we had a very early morning flight, and we looked at that as a bonus.
I blame the Irish.
Because it was going to make it that we could not drink heavily. And even better, that last night we were in Alabama for the closing party. They went cheap. I won't mention the name of the organization that took us to Alabama T-Bex, but they went cheap and only had 2 drink tickets. You remember that?
Right.
Which we also looked at as a bonus. Now,
Right.
normally, that's a very negative item for us, especially going to a place
Especially
that has
for you.
good quality craft beer. 2 drinks was like, that's not enough. But again, early morning flight, 2 drinks. This will be perfect. There is no
We'll
way.
get in, we'll say our goodbyes, and we'll be out. I had to pack. I still had to pack.
No way we could do anything terribly stupid like drink until 3 o'clock in the morning.
I blame Michael Collins and the Irish in general.
You're blaming Irish history for this?
I blame Michael Collins from T-Bex.
Because everybody else doesn't know who Michael Collins is. They're thinking the historical reference.
No.
Would have been funny. So yeah, that was the real test of our ability to get ourselves packed and go. Now I had already packed up. I had my things all squared away. You did not. So you had to somehow do it drunkenly. Did you leave anything?
Nothing.
Wow.
I even packed some of the things that I thought, we acquired as we were there that maybe shouldn't have come back with us.
What was her name?
No. There was a tea, like a glass of tea.
Oh, you mean the mason jars? Yes, we did suddenly open our bag and why are there mason jars with holes in them and straws poking out in our luggage? Yeah, I guess if there's one of the negatives of packing drunk, it is you might grab additional things. And I don't know, there was this VoIP phone that we stole from the hotel room and a TV.
No.
Didn't do that, obviously.
No, everything came back with us. But I do I think both of us now pretty much have things in place. Like we have, each of us do our own clothes. We do our own toiletries. And I know what I need. You know what you need. And we're responsible for our own things. I think that's a big part of being on your own. Maybe if you're leaving things, you should have a checklist.
Yeah, but you don't have a checklist.
I do in my head.
That doesn't count. I'm sure that you can ask all of the pilots that had crashed their planes because they didn't use a checklist, or all of the doctors that left things like forceps inside of people before using a checklist. Do you use the one in your head? And they say, absolutely I do. So in-head checklists don't work. Now, Dave's talking specifically about electronic gadgetry that he seems to lose a lot. Dave, here's my suggestion. Here's how I have done this. Get rid of most of the crap. You're a pack rat. I know you. You have cables in there just in the off chance you might need a SCSI to 1/4 inch audio cable from whatever reason. I know you've got that. Don't carry it with you. Do you recall, honey, when we were in Thailand the first time? This was in Ranong back in 2015, when I basically upended my bag and even your bag of electronics and said, there are probably only so many power plug to USB adapters that we need. And that number is less than 9. We had 9.
We did have 9.
Between us, and we just don't need that many.
We also had 2 sets of plugins.
Power adapters.
Yeah.
Yes, international power adapters, because when you do travel the world, you have to carry a bag of things that you are going to need, because there are, 4 different power outlet configurations,
Something like
I think?
that.
So that means we can't have 9 different power to USB adapters. We can't have 13 thumb drives all with less than 1 megabyte of capacity in them. Just threw all that stuff out. Literally tossed it in the garbage because no, it just didn't need to be carried around with me any longer.
And you know that made me super nervous.
Of course it did. Yeah, you also are a pack rat. I can't be completely blameless here. I, like most dudes who have done things in IT and audio before that, I had a box of cables.
Yes, you did.
And that box of cables saved me on numerous occasions. I no longer have said box of cables.
Because you can't travel with said box of cables.
I have just the things that I need. And even like for this setup right now that we're recording this on, our audio gear, that is the one non-computer thing. Obviously, I have a laptop computer, that its various power adapters, but the only electronic thing I am responsible for is the gear that we recorded this show on. But it's minimalistic gear. It's 2 mics, SM58s, indestructible things. I've got way too long of XLR cables, but it's what I had before, and they roll up kind of tight. Zoom H4n, and all of it, with the exception of the H4n that has its own separate little plastic box, all of it goes into one bag, one little small zipper thing that it just barely fits into. My repurposed Sephora bag that you had given me at one time. So that's it. So when that thing, if that bag is packed and it's not overflowing, I lost something. I've left something out. So I just keep it down to get rid of the crap.
Yeah, it's all about knowing where everything is supposed to be, how packed it's supposed to be or not packed as full, and then understanding that if you need to look for something, you need to look for something.
Yeah, that's really the trick, is not having all of those other little extra things. I mean, do I wish that I had some of that stuff? Yes. Have there been times when it would have been handy to have this thing? Absolutely. But that's when you start leaving crap behind. So everything goes into my bag, and it only comes out when I need it. And even my little inside of my laptop bag, which is a wonderful little Tom Bin bag. It's wonderful. There's a smaller little module zipper thing that contains all the little adapters and plugs and whatever. That never leaves my bag. It is attached physically. It is hooked inside. So I can pull it out, but it's got a cord that's attached with it. So it can't be left behind.
Right.
Even doing that, however, I mentioned I've lost 2 different power adapters. Those are the things you're going to lose. Things that plug into a wall, I lose them.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, especially if you're in a rush, if you have to go do something during the day and check out early in the morning. I find that that's when we lose things more often, when we're rushing through the morning process and don't have time to just review.
I've got it down to and I think we both have it down to a science now, that when we are traveling and going somewhere, when we've slimmed down, occasionally, like we will, well, I should back up. So when we began our travels, we had too much crap.
That is true.
We each had a couple of suitcases. We had a guitar, which was stupid. Yeah, each of us had guitars, plus backpacks and so all of that got pared down. But once we started traveling with our regular traveling set, when I'm waiting at the baggage claim, I know exactly what I'm looking for. And on the few times when we've traveled without that, like if we'll just take a quick week trip, we'll put all of the clothes in my suitcase, not your suitcase. And that makes me kind of crazy waiting for the bags to come down, because I remember we just did it a few hours ago. We put one bag underneath the plane, but in my head, there should be 2 bags. There should be 2 bags coming down. Where's the second bag? Dude, you only packed 1 bag. Yeah, but we always pack 2 bags. We have 2 bags. 2 bags? 2 bags. Shut up, brain. There was only 1, remember? You did it. No, there were 2 bags. That's still a little maddening for me. If I've got one OCD finger in my body or feeling in my body, that's it. Like, no, we've traveled for so long with 2 bags. There's got to be 2 bags.
Right. Well, and I think I take it from like stewardesses and...
Wow. Sexist much?
I know, sorry.
Man, we're going to get hate mail.
Flight attendants.
Wow. All right.
Okay. From flight attendants.
1986 called. They want their sexism back.
Hey,
Sorry, you were saying?
Shush.
Right.
So flight attendants pretty
With their
much.
little hot skirts, little short pants.
And I'm sexist?
Oh, wait, sorry. I thought we didn't know. We're still recording. My bad.
They have a set bag, and that's what they travel with. So I also do things like that with like makeup and things like that, where I have things already set out and ready to go in travel. And then I keep everything together when I'm wherever we are.
So there you go, Dave. Make sure that your makeup is all in one bag for you, I guess, and then you can travel like a stewardess, according to my wife.
Don't look at me like that.
You do realize Dave probably doesn't wear makeup.
No, I've seen him. He wears the
the luchador mask. That's true. But it's true. I don't know how you pack a luchador.
With that?
That's a great question, Dave. Are you traveling with the luchador mask? And if so, how do you pack all of your separate pieces for your Mexican wrestler outfit?
Right.
You should have this nailed down, man. You do the cosplay, you're all the geek stuff, so you probably have a real amazing system of how this whole thing really works. We need to get tips from you, my friend.
I love how we've turned this around on him.
Yeah. Well, heck yeah, we should do that, right? Because, yeah, there's my advice. Throw all of your away and only carry the very, very small numbers of pieces of that you need, and that will lessen your chance of losing something. However, you will still lose things. And the good news is everywhere you're going to travel, you can buy things.
That is true.
You'll just have to buy them. And that's the cost of doing business in a world where we still don't have power we can just suck down from the air and magically charge our devices.
Exactly.
In the future, when we don't have to worry about plugging crap in anymore, we won't worry about losing adapters or needing cables.
I want that day today.
Well, we're almost there.
I have too many cables.
Too many cables, too many things.
I think we answered the question this week.
Oddly enough, we did it once again. Thanks to the wonderful question. Thank you very much, Dave. And for you other listener out there, if you would like to ask us a question and receive such sage wisdom from on high, which we may or may not turn back on you, as we did here, you can do exactly what Dave did. And Dave went to shivo.wtf/call us, clicked the little button that said leave a voicemail, and recorded, probably on his phone. He might have done it on his laptop. Who knows? But it's a very simple, easy process. Shivo.wtf/call us. You can ask us about travel. You can ask us how we've stayed married for 30 years. You can ask us what it's like being expats, which we are now in Thailand. You can ask us random, silly things. Just don't ask for our social security numbers because we're not that stupid. Although, if you have the Equifax breach, you already have that access as well.
Our show, This One Time, would not be possible without support from people like you. If you think our show is worthy of your financial support, Patreon makes it very easy.
Now, Dave mentioned earlier that he gets a postcard from us every month. That's because he is one of our original Patreon supporters. Dave, thank you very much for your continued support of us on Patreon. If you would like to support us on Patreon with This One Time, the new season of products that we are producing here from Our Life as Expats, you can go to shivo.wtf/Patreon and get signed up. You'll get bonus content, you'll get early access to these files, plus a whole heck of a lot more at shivo.wtf/Patreon. Do it today.
And where would they go if they wanted one of those lovely postcards?
If you want a lovely postcard, you can do that to shivo.wtf/postcards, and you can get on that list of the other fine people that get a postcard from us all the time. When we go to Indonesia, there'll be a new batch of those going out next month, so if you want on that, you might want to get on it now, shivo.wtf/postcards, and get on the list.
Our music is by Valea Valea.
Thanks for listening, listener. I am Evo Terra.
And I'm Sheila D.
For more life lessons from us, travel advice, where to pack your stuff, and what crap to throw away, just keep listening. We'll do it again next week. Cheers.